In the time of King Herod, after Jesus was born in Bethlehem of Judea, wise men from the east came to Jerusalem asking, "Where is the child who has been born King of the Jews? For we observed his star at its rising and have come to pay him homage." When King Herod heard this, he was frightened, and all Jerusalem with him. And calling together all the chief priests and scribes of the people, he inquired of them where the Messiah was to be born. They told him, "In Bethlehem of Judea. For so it has been written by the prophet, 'And you, Bethlehem, in the land of Judah, are by no means the least among the rulers of Judah, for from you shall come a ruler who is to shepherd my people Israel.'" Then Herod secretly called for the wise men and learned from them the exact time when the star had appeared. Then he sent them to Bethlehem, saying, "Go and search diligently for the child, and when you have found him, bring me word, so that I may also go and pay him homage." When they had heard the king, they set out. And there ahead of them went the star that they had seen at its rising, until it stopped over the place where the child was. When they saw that the star had stopped, they were overwhelmed with joy. On entering the house, they saw the child with Mary, his mother, and they knelt down and paid him homage. Then, opening their treasure chests, they offered him gifts of gold, frankincense, and myrrh. And having been warned in a dream not to return to Herod, they left for their own country by another road. The Gospel of the Lord.
Praise to you, Lord.
Please be seated. Last Friday, I made a pilgrimage, as I do most every year about this time. I drive east for a couple of hours to pay homage to special visitors who were only resident for a short while: loons and tundra swans and migratory geese and ducks, Arctic birds that overwinter in refuges created for them on the coasts of Virginia and North Carolina. I don't exactly have to follow a star to get to them, but rather go to the place where they're predicted to be and study the skies to find them. There's something about being among these magnificent creatures who come from afar, who do not live among us normally, but make a special appearance in the cold dark of winter. Their exotic foreignness and the mystery of how they got here luring me year after year to go and see them and pay my respects. Am I wise or foolish to drive 5 hours round trip to catch a glimpse of some long white necks in a distant pond? To drive slowly down a chilly path, my convertible car top down, so I can possibly see the rush of 1,000 black-tipped winged birds lifting up into the sky all at once on no particular cue. To take photo after photo of the same red-eyed loon, its head a periscope among the ocean waves, when I know all the photos will come out blurry. I guess I just want to be in the presence of something otherworldly for a bit, to take myself out of my usual habit and habitat, domestic duties and fixing things and emailing and figuring out what to do now or what to do next given the state of all this. For me, it is a great mystery of how these creatures innately know and follow a complex migration pattern over great long distances through all kinds of weather to find the same pond in which to rest for the winter each year. It is said that many migratory species fly mainly during the night, and following the stars. And I cannot fathom how they know how to accomplish this. And so I go and pay homage to the mystery as well. According to the Gospel of Matthew, some people from the east came to Jerusalem to pay homage to someone they called the King of the Jews, whose star they had seen in the skies, a portent, a sign, a mystery. Those people are called various things depending on the translation one reads of the original Greek, which uses the word magi. Our translation calls them wise men. And of course, the familiar hymns name them as kings. But New Testament scholar Amy Jill Levine says the word really means fools. After all, are they not fools to come to the actual king, and one with the reputation of being paranoid and incredibly brutal, to ask about another new baby king who presumably is going to take his place? They didn't even pretend to offer any homage to Herod. So perhaps they were fools. But I think, too, that they who studied the skies and see signs in stars were drawn to the mystery of things too wonderful to understand with the brain, but accessible by something more akin to childlike innocence. In other places in this gospel, Jesus asserts that the truth is only able to be grasped by infants. For God does not reveal divine truth to the wise and the intelligent, but perhaps only to fools who do not concern themselves with a powerful king or the intelligent, important people, but simply sought out a child by following a star. We call this time when the Magi reached the Christ child the Epiphany, the time when God is made manifest in Jesus, when Jesus is revealed to the Gentiles, to the world, as God incarnate. This, too, is a mystery only to be grasped intuitively, knowledge gained via perception. We cannot think our way into it, but only know it as a sudden insight. And the thing about epiphanies is that once we have them, once we experience them, we are changed. What we thought we knew gets rearranged within us, and we now see the world differently and respond to the world differently, or at least we ought to if we have truly had an epiphany. So the Magi, whoever they were, followed the star and found the child, found what they were looking for, ignoring the rest of the world. They had their epiphany, and then they went home, but this time by another road. Not the road they came in on, not the road back to the world of the powerful and the intelligent, not the road to glory, not boasting about what they had seen or been shown, but just home, perhaps by reading the stars by night again, quietly and without fanfare. Home by another way. The poet T.S. Eliot, in The Journey of the Magi, imagines that these folks, whom he describes as night travelers who slept in snatches on a hard journey, were changed by what they had seen. We return to our places, these kingdoms, but no longer at ease here in the old dispensation, with an alien people clutching their gods, the poem's narrator informs us. Isn't that what's supposed to happen after an epiphany? What we know gets rearranged, and we are disturbed and upended. Whoever they were and whatever happened, we are left with the mystery of God come to live with us, to live among us in the person of Jesus of Nazareth, who taught us how to live according to God's priorities, who died for us, whom God raised from the dead for us, to bridge the divide between us and the one who only wants life for us. It is a mystery that cannot be easily explained, but only can be lived into if we're willing to let go of the gods we've been clutching and to resist the powers that do not give us life. It is a mystery that the Apostle Paul told the people of Corinth that their dedication to will make them look like fools in the eyes of a world that values glory and success and power. In this time of discord, disaster, disease, we are surely upended. The world is not what we want it to be. But God has still come to us and wants us and is for us. God only knows why when we are all such a mess. And it is a mystery to which I will gladly pay homage and be willing to be a fool for, to let God show me how to go home by another way.